the cause is not yet known, but given the insane rise of xenophobia in the country, could it at all be possible that this may have been intentional?
Well, that is still under investigation, and the intention is also not clear. But definitely the sentiment or the rumors or the speculation right now as to the cause is that it might have been either an illegal electric connection, or it could have been simply a candle that sparked this flame that engulfed the building here in Marshalltown in Johannesburg. And so that is still being investigated. But the highlight or the main issue that's come out of this story is that the building itself was hijacked. And what does that mean? It means that people were living at the building illegally. People who were not necessarily the proper inhabitants or the proper owners of the building. People were paying rent to people that didn't own the building as per a title deed would have said so. And so this is the issue here, is that it was hijacked, and most of the people living within the building are people who are considered to be foreign nationals. But what we know, because I did speak to one of the women who's been left stranded, she did explain that, the people who they were paying rent to were actually South Africans, and that they, as much as they are foreign nationals who are living in the building, they were paying rent to a South African. So a lot of nuance around the story in terms of the hijacking of the building, who it actually belonged to, and the fact that these so many hundreds of residents have been left stranded in the coming days. Now, what we know is that the government is trying to make interventions to at least provide shelter for people to live in the coming days and weeks. And, there is now a big push by government to assess the situation of hijacked buildings in the inner Johannesburg city region.
Now, one never wants to compare two disasters, but this looks awfully much like the 2017 blaze that tore through Grenfell Tower in West London. But what are the chances of seeing the same level of investigation and outpouring of aid and condolences in Johannesburg?
Yes, so far we see government urgently trying to address this matter. I can tell you now that we've heard confirmation that President Cyril Ramaphosa, the President of the Republic, will be here in a short while, in a few minutes actually, to assess the site, to probably be briefed by officials, the forensic officials, as well as police, as to the status quo of the situation. So you see, if the president can come down to the ground so quickly, perhaps there's quite an urgency by government to address this tragedy, massive tragedy, as quickly as possible. And, harrowing scenes coming out of here. You can see people are actually gathered around the square. So this block square, they gathered here. They don't know where they're going to be staying for the night. So a lot of intervention needs to happen as soon as possible.
Right, South Africans are known to sort of rally around the flag and come together in times like this, very much a sign of solidarity. But are there some people, we are talking about downtown Johannesburg where crime does run rampant, are there some people that could be using this as an opportunity for more crime?
Well, that hasn't been the sense for now. Right now, I think there's an effort to deal with this crisis that has just happened. Definitely officials are maintaining the situation. There's so many trucks around the block. Fire trucks are still on standby. A number of police units are still on standby. What there is, though, is a gathering or a protest demonstration, if you will, of some residents who've been affected, possibly people who had loved ones living here, or people who survived the disaster itself, gathered together a few meters away actually from me, because obviously they would like to know what happens to them now, but definitely not infiltrated by any criminal activity. And also right now, a huge law enforcement contingency is on the ground monitoring and guarding the situation.